going on, guys? Why do I have a bag of Strife parts down here? Hey, everybody. Hey, Pete, you're early. What's going on, man? Take through the rest of... What? How are you doing with your other blaster? It's kind of dead in the water until after N-War. There's absolutely no saving it before that. It's just a physical time restraint. Don't know if you've kept up with Instagram or anything, but it's dead. Last layer of paint screwed up. So, continue the stream from last night of let's get our mind off of everything. Got some materials here for the mag bag, which I've been meaning to do, but I just have not gotten around to. So we got cordage. Just gonna take some dimensions. These are rough dimensions, obviously, because things are gonna change from bit to bit. So this is supposed to be 1/8 inch. It's just about 1/8 of an inch. Maybe 4 thou under. It's within tolerance though, so we'll just go ahead and say that's 1/4 inch. Alright, see ya. See ya, Blades. Yeah, I didn't feel like giving an action title. Although my screen is off. Hold on. Not off physically, but it's not where I want it to be. Placement. There we go. Scrolled to the wrong thing. Do you do commissions? Yeah, but I'm super busy and mine are super expensive, so the general consensus that people say is good luck. Question about the patches? Shoot. Hi. What's going on, man? For reasons. Many reasons. So this is the, what's it called? The Velcro backing. This is the loop section. So it's kind of like a soft side on this side and then just regular on this side. It's really hard to tell with this camera. So it's the regular and then got the soft side on this side. And then this will hold the patches nice. I got this on McMaster. You can get the stuff on McMaster car. You can get both hook and loop sides of Velcro in like big huge sheets. So I got this, and this is so I can put this on the entire front. So the entire front of the mag bag is going to be able to hold patches. And I don't know if I want to do the entire front or if I want to do like maybe like 1.5 to 2 inches of this material on the top and bottom, and then there's a strip in the middle. That's this. I might end up doing that, but I just think it might look a little weird if the entire front is this, but we'll find out soon. That's what we're here for. Can I ask for people's opinion on my character I made for my animation? If you can get that to them through other means, because I don't think you can put links here in the chat. It's about 45 thousandths. Probably don't need to be this precise about things, but We're not doing anything, Gavin. We're seeing about the future of the mag bag scenario here. So this is a double-sided fusible stabilizer. I'm not a tailor. I don't know much about this stuff. I did some research. This is like the stiffest stuff I could find, short of straight up cardboard. So this will be the stabilizer, and then it's fusible on both sides. So what that means is you put a cloth on this side, you put a cloth on the other side, and then you heat that up with a clothes iron, and then that will basically melt the glue that's infused into it, and it will stick there. So and this is the stuff that I'm doing these measurements for, because since I have to do 9 layers, or more than that, 10 layers, since I have to do 10 layers, that's going to stack up pretty quickly. You know, this is only around 77 thousandths, but you know, you stack that up a few times, and that's going to be almost that's going to be over 3/4 of an inch. So that it can get really tight, and it will make your bag feel tight, and that's definitely not what I want. So I'm glad there are people to talk to coworkers. Suck. Definitely glad there are people to talk to coworkers. So yeah. Sorry. Just aneurysm. Let's see how much. Trying to decide what I want to put this at. I'd rather be a little bit less than a little bit over, so I'm just going to say 0.075. Because I don't want it too loose. It's not officially closed yet because it's my only source of income, but I'm letting everybody know within a decent amount of time that black steel props is not going to be a thing forever. Right now it's my only source of income. It's not really getting any return, but there's really no point in closing it because I don't get charged monthly. That being said, however, since net neutrality just freaking died, or at least temporarily died, I'm not 100% sure on it, Etsy has already bumped up their fees from 3.5 to 5%. So that is a significant jump up. Which means I'm making even less money, so it's just another reason to close down the store. But right now there's really no point in closing it. If my molds start running dry or something, then I'm probably just going to end the listing instead of trying to invest to remake the mold, that kind of thing. I actually I kind of liked the Hyperfire, or the Raptor Strike stock a little bit better, but it's your build and it's up to you. This webbing is actually thinner than, that's surprising. It's thinner than the stabilizer, just by a little bit. Say 0.07. This webbing, oh, hold on. This webbing was incredibly hard to find. I think I've mentioned this before, but this is like the actual real tough stuff. And aside from military-specific websites, this stuff is actually really hard to find. I finally found a place on Amazon that had it, but if you ever look up webbing, a lot of the reviews are, wow, this stuff is super thin, it's super loose weave, and it's pretty useless, which is on my other bag. And it works, but it's, you know, meh. But it took a little bit of time, but I finally found this for a decent price. So I have some actual webbing. It's close enough to an inch. And then this was 0.7. Officially, everyone hates it now. Hey, it's your build. Nobody has to like it but you. And then this is negligible. This is 25 thousandths. Not even going to bother writing that down. Okay, so now we need to figure out what the dimensions are. Now, I could grab my other mag bag and start measuring that, but the problem with that is if you need a rod that's 6 inches long and you measure with a ruler and you cut off 6 inches, but then you use that rod to measure your next piece and then use that cutoff to cut the next piece and the next piece, eventually you're actually going to get pretty far off, and I don't want to do that. So measuring the mag bag as opposed to measuring isn't really a good idea, as opposed to measuring the magazine directly and just starting again from scratch. So I don't want like tight tolerances like this. I want it to be more loose because we're dealing with fabric, right? So this is going to be just about 3.5 inches, and that'll give us a little bit of leeway here because the actual size of the mag is a little over 3 1/8. It's like 3 3/16, I think. And then you get this little bump up here, which is 3 3/8. So 3.5 inches, and this little bump doesn't really matter in terms of like, as long as you can slide over it, because it's, and you know, not super tight, it's just gonna fall right in because it's already in the well of the thing. So about 3.5 inches I think is good. I don't think that's too much wiggle room, and by the time we add all of the other layers and stuff, let's see. If I add stuff together, that's probably going to be about 100 thousandths. If I can measure all the stuff as accurately as I can now, it'll be not nearly as accurate when I actually make it, but it will be more likely to succeed, which is what I'm trying to go for. So it might end up being somewhere around 3.4, which still gives us plenty of room. Even up here, that's fine. And then our depth is over 6 inches, so we can't use this. Depth is going to be about 17 3/4. Or excuse me, 7 3/4, not 17. 7 3/4. Probably cut that down to 7.5. Although I'm sure if we do 7 3/4, it'll cut down. And your blueprints don't have to make a whole lot of sense. As long as you know what's up, that's all that matters. As long as you can read your instructions. Stop to say hello, can't stay because I'm working sadly. Hopefully I get back. Hopefully I'm be back. If not, have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by, Trigo. Hola, Peter, what's going on? Not really a specific chat, Pete. I don't usually do phone over the calls, but yeah, maybe we can look into that in the future. But right now, I don't usually do that. So this is going to be 3.5 here. And then the depth here is going to be 7. Let's do 775. Whoops. And then the thickness. The actual thickness is like 0.9. So if we go up to 1 inch, it's going to be where we want to be, but then we have to account for the fabric and stuff. So we might bump that up to 7075. Which sounds a little silly, but you got to remember that I'm repeating this several times over. I'm sure we'd be okay with 1 inch. I really don't think there's a necessity to be that precise with fabric. I just want there to be enough room, you know. Blades offered a DRS for the crossbow, no Hades. He offered you, or what do you mean? Yeah, not sure how far I'm gonna get along before End War, but I've been meaning to do the dimensioning for a while now. I need to make a new mag bag, because I want to be able to have some patch space. I have this Velcro stuff. I have it in a big sheet, so I can make the entire front real estate for patches. And I was gonna just sew it onto mine, but then I realized it's probably actually easier just to make a whole nother mag bag than it is to try to sew this stuff onto there properly. So that's where we're sitting right now. It's up to you whether you want to get rid of the crossbow or not. If yours is in pretty good shape, I would probably stiff them out for a little more, but gotta do more animating. Can't hear this over that. Gotta go. Not a problem. See ya. So the pleats in the middle, not pleats, the dividers in the middle here are going to be a little bit less than that, but I think we should get the mag bag together before we figure out the size, the size of it this ways. So I think what we're gonna end up doing is making a long stretch like this. And then we will separate them with some stitches right here. There'll be the infusing in the middle, in between these layers, because there'll be, this will actually be on the inside as well, because of the way this is designed. The dividers make a Z, kind of like this, when they're in the bag, and they're going to be lined with Velcro on the edges, so that they can stick to the inside of the mag bag. Now that alone isn't enough to withstand the force of like jumping. You jump and the whole thing is going to come out because these things weigh a lot, you know, for what it is. So I actually sew the tops of them, and that's enough to keep it secure, because that's where the most stress is when you're jumping. That's where all the stress is coming from. But the Velcro will just help keep everything aligned. And in my other one, I just made strips going this way, because I didn't have this stuff, and then the strip going down this way, and then that kind of locked it into place. But if I just make the entire inside this, then I don't think we're gonna have too much of an issue. I guess I don't need the bottom to be that. I could just make it this, but at that point there's just so much of it, I might as well just make the entire inner thing. I'll make the side walls out of this, because there's no point. What's up with the blue parts on the side? Those are purple. So that's going to be, we need to adjust for how much this is actually going to take, because when you sew it, let's say that this is another one of these pieces. So we have the infusible layer, we have this, and then we sandwich something on top of that to kind of make a sandwich, fuse it all together. But then we have to make a seam right here, and it's this space right here that we have to determine what the size is, so that when we fold it up, it's not binding on itself, and it can actually make that fold. I'm no expert on this, but we're just gonna wing it. I could probably ask my mother, because she actually does do sewing. She helped me out with my first bag, but we're gonna see if we can figure this out. I've been meaning to get into more sewing anyway. I don't know if anyone has seen, I don't own a PlayStation 4, but I've seen a bunch of Let's Plays on Detroit Become Human, and it'd be really cool to make one of those jackets. I doubt I'll ever get around to it, but it'd be kind of cool. It's probably a mixture between your monitor's way off and my camera's way off. Anyone familiar with these streams knows that this camera is notoriously off color. We had a bunch of troubles going near the end of Glass Construct, where people couldn't tell what color was what. So crossbow is gray and the cast parts on your left are blue. That's pretty terrible. I think it has partially to do with the blue background, where it's trying to auto adjust and it's not working. So the real question is, how much do I need to leave here? I bet if I made, it seems like the fold itself should be on 3.5. So I think I need to make the inserts a little bit smaller, but it's by how much smaller I need to make them by is the question. Like something like that looks decent. That's probably like, that's like a whole 1/4 inch. If we can do more, if we can do less here, it's a little over 1/8 of an inch. See, 1/8 of an inch I think is too close. That doesn't look right. At the same time, I think like that's a 1/4 inch. And that's looking pretty good, but I didn't think it would be that big of a gap. That might be a little bit too much. What's 3/8? So 1.25 divided by 2 would be 625. So that'd be 8.7. So that's about 3/8. 3/8 is looking a little bit better. I think we can work with 3/8. Yeah, it's not that hard. It's open to the public. So it'd be 3/8 off of that, right? So the size of the insert here should be 3 1/8. Whoops, I wrote 8. 3 1/8, right? No, that's wrong. That's if everything came off of this side. So it'd be half of that. So it'd be 3 5/16. How much is 5/16? Knockoff worker 22, a knockoff of a knockoff, yeah. Oops. I think that's right. So 3 1/2 minus 3/16, that'd be 5/16, 3 5/16, right? Yeah, that's right. And then that would be the width of that, and then the length of this we'll have to determine by counting upwards. So we need to determine how thick each one of these is going to be. So $1075, I think, is the consensus here. What happens if we go down to 1 even? That's a little tight. I think 1075 will just give us a hair of clearance. Maybe 105. It's hard to tell with just one magazine, because things are going to be multiplied exponentially. Excuse me. So I might grab a few more magazines and see. Oh, you know what? the lip up here is the thickest part, and that's 106. So we might have to do the 175. 1075, excuse me. Mag bag, yeah. Not man bag. Mag bag. Tack gear gets way more hilarious when you think about it as accessorizing, yeah. Yeah, let me get a few more mags. I'll be right back. Stick with what I said. We're measuring something that's already been measured is not a great idea, but we're just going to get this as a reference. It's just about 22 inches. Maybe a little more. It's just about 22 inches. And that's 9 mags. That's questionable. That's how a lot of people do it. I think 4 is a good sample size. So we put these together starting on this line here. Even if they're like butting up almost right next to each other, which we don't want. That's actually significantly more than I thought. This is why we do tests. Heard man bag, I'm sticking with it. When I see you at NWAR, I will be sure to ask about it loudly and repeatedly. Thanks. So just 4 mags. According to what I was saying, I don't feel like doing the math in my head. That should be 4.3 inches. And that's 4.75 inches. So at the very minimum. So obviously we've missed something. What is that? 22 divided by 9. That can't be right. Oh, I'm an idiot. I keep measuring from the 10 mark. It was 12 inches. That's why I'm so confused. I was like, that's not 20... I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, it's 12 inches. My bad. I'm surprised no one said something. I said 22 inches across multiple times. Yeah, that does not make any sense. 12 sounds much better. 12 divided by 9. Okay, that's 1.33 repeating. So yeah, that sounds better. I was so confused. So I'm thinking we should just do 12 inches across. Stick with what my mag bag is. And then divide it out evenly after the fact. Oops. Pioneering a product you would maybe like for lower end builds. Do I make lower end builds? Legitimate question. Silicone shock absorber for flywheel cages. If you want shock absorber, sometimes what I have done is take the EVA foam and cut out little circles with like a hole punch or something and put them in like on top of the screw ports and then put your cage on. It doesn't do much, but it does a little bit. Or are you talking about shock absorbers like DRS has? I thought about getting a punch made. Helpful if I turn it on. So this bag's been stretched out a little bit over time, but that's about 3.5. I'm sure I would have come up with the same conclusion when I first made this. They already exist. I have 2 pair. But I like DRS, but they're black, thicker, and smaller parameter. Got them from Adrian Kelly. I'm alright. I wonder if I can feel the bottom of the bag. I separated these. You can kind of see the ribs because this is basically just plastic on the inside of here. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but they have almost like plastic netting where it's solid plastic, but it's in like a grid shape, and it's for like yarn, so you can sew it in and make patterns and stuff. I basically used that, which obviously I can't sew through, and since there's no adhesive to it, I had to rib them like this, so that's the only reason why it's like that. But yeah, that's about 3.5. But it's also kind of caving in, like it's kind of rounded the bottom, and it's more bending on the exact hinge here rather than bending on the seam. The seam's all the way up here. So I'm wondering if I should... Good lord, what is in my bag that... It's tree bark. I was very confused there for a second. That's funny. Yeah, I'm happy to. I legitimately made up my mind that I wasn't going because I just couldn't afford it. So I'm very grateful to be going. Questioning everything. Measure twice, cut once, right? Be sure before. So the width on that is 33125 33125. That is pretty tight, but then when I get the seam on there, if it bends the way I want it to, I'm wondering if I should just keep it. Maybe bump it up to 3.4. I kind of don't want to go to the full 3.5. But, I mean, part of the reason why I like this mag bag is because of how wide the opening is. I'm wondering if I should just suck it up and go to 3.5. What do you guys think? Realistically, the most I could add is another 5/8, or excuse me, 3/8. So that'd be like way out here, that seam. But I think the fabric will be flexible enough where I have the option to not... I don't think it'll flex out that much. Okay, so we know this wants to be 12 inches. Again, I shouldn't be measuring this. Pretty sure I made these ribs 1 inch each. And let's say, let's try to think what I would do here. Probably put an 1/8 inch in between them because I'm me. Times that by 9, and then add another 1/8 inch for the other side. So that's not right. So maybe I added a full quarter. So do 1.25 times 9 plus 2.5. That's 11.5. That's closer to what it is. Because you're not a moderator. What are you trying to post? If I did 1.3 times 9 plus 0.3, that would be 12. Interesting, so minus 0.6. Why does this have to be so freaking complicated? I don't think it matters that much. I think I'm just gonna make... Let's do 11.75. Send the link to me and tell me when you send it, and I'll post it. So the height of this probably ain't gonna freaking matter, but going back to this and measuring, I can't because that's not long enough. Yeah, I think that's 7.5. I did, so we'll just do 7.5 as well. So we'll just make the inserts. .4. I'm just winging it at this point. Screw this. It's gonna screw up anyway. Alright, give me 1 sec. There's a link. J Forge, what's going on, man? So the sides, I'll have 2 of these. These will be completely detached from this until I actually sew them together. Obviously, the fabric is going to have plenty of leeway, you know, more than a 1/2 inch all the way around. So I'm not worried about that. I'll figure that out, because I can always sew and then trim. We're trying to figure out the dimensions of a mag bag. I need to make another one. We have some materials here, so. What color parts are those? Smoke? I don't think I have any smoke parts on the table. Oh, you're talking about him. Yeah, those are smoke ravens. I thought you were talking about here. I'm like, what? Yeah, yeah, mag bag, patented. Hawkeye patent pending, mag bag. Not really. I'm kidding. If that wasn't incredibly obvious. So the insert here is obviously going to be the 3.3125, and then the length that is obviously going to be the 7.4. Okay. Screw it. I'm making this 12. Don't measure the bag, he said. Shut up. We're just going to bring everything down just a little bit. So I'm going to make this 3.4 instead of 3.3125. So I'll bring everything down a 100,000th. Except for this dimension, I guess. Let's be consistent because I'm anal. Be 11.9. That's not going to make any difference, but I'll know. Are those measuring things expensive? You talking about the calipers? This particular pair of calipers is, these are Matoyo. These are Matoyo, so yeah, these ones are expensive. I have some cheaper ones though. If you go on Amazon and you look up virtually any... Oh god, that doesn't feel great compared to that. I haven't used these in forever. If you go on Amazon and you look up caliper, if there's like 7 different kinds and one guy bought all of them, and if you look in the reviews, it's almost always the top review on there. One guy bought all 7 of them and he rates one of them above the rest. It's like $30 or something, and he said for a little bit more you can get a lot better, and so that's the one I ended up going with here. It's not perfect. This the battery tray isn't super secure in there. It's not the best, but it works, and it's pretty accurate. But I've dropped this, I think, 3 or 4 times now, so this is pretty useless. I still use it on my desk, but I mainly use the Matoya now. But this is 30 bucks. This is 30 bucks. This is like 150. So I don't care, Phoenix. Mitutoyo, whatever. I'm American. Gotta run. Gotta work on my rifle build. I'll catch up with you guys later. See ya. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Okay. So I think those are the main dimensions. I think we'll work on the inner, I almost said pleats again, inner spacers, inner dividers afterwards. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit thinner than this. Probably like 3.25. I have a feeling the inner pleats. God damn it! The inner stabilizer. I have a feeling that's going to be 3.25, but we'll see. And then there's the flaps. I don't know if I'm going to add stabilizer in there. I don't think I need to. Which brand is the $30 one? IGAGING. if you look up if you just look up caliper on Amazon, there will be, you'll see the top review and he'll guide you there. If you could, click on one of the links in the description, if you would be so kind. It's two other things like a mask or whatever, but if you click on that link and then search through that link, I'll actually get a little bit of a kickback to anything you add to your cart. You don't have to, but you know, it's something that helps me out tiny bit. It's not much. It's like 2%, but it doesn't cost you anything. So Alpha Snooper is doing really well. It performs like an absolute boss. Everyone here is absolutely terrified of that thing. But I haven't been able to work on it because I basically just need to sand and cut out some places for some LEDs and stuff, and then paint it. It's functional, but I basically need to work towards painting it, and I don't have time for that right now. So, but it's definitely a beast. Yeah, a pair of calipers are definitely very helpful if you're doing anything 3D, anything, whether it's modeling or even just printing. These things are freaking great because you can actually design something that you want to be exactly 10 millimeters, measure it, see how much it's off by, do the calculations, and then adjust it, reprint it, and then you can actually get it almost exactly on 10 millimeters. So these are very helpful. And if you've never touched a Matoya before, these are going to be just fine. Now that I actually have spoiled myself and have one of these, I can definitely feel the difference, and I want to kill myself every time I pick this one up. But if you have never touched one of these, this is going to be just fine, and you're not going to notice a difference. And they're definitely good enough for what you're doing. Anyone who's like, these aren't accurate enough for machining work, and well, you're kind of stupid, because these aren't accurate enough for machining work to a certain point. If you're getting down to where if you're getting down to the point where this isn't accurate enough, then you probably shouldn't be using this anyway. You should be using a micrometer. So I get why machinists are super picky about it, but I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to say, you shouldn't get a $30 pair, you should get a $100 pair. Well, that's ridiculous. These work just fine. I just got these because I'm literally going into machining technology, so if I just got these for a hobby, that'd be ridiculous. You drop this once and it's useless. Caliper 10 times fast. Caliper. I don't know if that was 10 times. Caliper. Yo, you planning the plans to plan around a plan of plans? Can't believe I got through that. Brit Nerf users. You should get a mic at that point, or indicating, yeah, exactly. Because your ability to, like, at that point, your ability to clamp on a part correctly is what's throwing it off more than the actual tool. We have the technology. I'd probably go a little bit lower than it. I mean, you can, but yeah, I wouldn't. If I was going anything where that required like super amounts of accuracy, I'd just use a micrometer. So now we need to figure out what's going to be on the outside, because we now have the rough dimensions for this guy, which we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're also going to need 9 dividers. Ha, didn't say pleats. So we have the dimensions of these. Now we need to figure out what's going to be on the outside. The inside is going to be, the inside of this is going to be 100% this lined up. So if you're not following along with this, this is going to fold up like this, and then there'll be two separate patches on either side that you'll sew on, and that's going to be the mag bag, and then you're going to add the dividers, and then that's what's going to be holding our magazines in place. So this entire strip right here, the entire thing on the inside, is going to be Velcro hook material, or excuse me, loop material. These sides don't need to be that. We can just make it this on that. That's going to be fine. Or what we could do is just do this on that as well, just so we have like a nice padding on consistent on everything, because I think everything, no, I want to do this. I think, yeah. Okay, because I was thinking that that's gonna, but that's just gonna be on this side. So okay, sorry, internal struggles here. Okay, yeah, so we are gonna make it out of these on both sides. So this will be that on both sides. So we'll just have the this is called duck cloth, by the way. So we'll have that be both sides. And again, blueprints don't have to be super clear if you can read them. If you can't read your own writing, if you're not sure about something, then write it down. But I've done enough blueprints like this where I'm not questioning anything. I can see what I meant by something. If you have no idea what's going on, then you need to be a little bit more clear. And I'm pretty sure you can Google something to help you make better blueprints or something, but yeah, 5 thousandths isn't too much to ask. Still working on dimensions. We just finished dimensioning the fusible layer, so we're gonna see what the rest of the mag bag's gonna be made out of. That project is currently dead. The paint on the entire project has screwed up at the very last coat of paint. There's a bunch of wrinkles everywhere that has completely destroyed the finish. And so that is garbage before End War. It's going to take probably a month to fix. So, yeah, that's kind of dead in the water right now. The only reason if you don't keep up with my Instagram, link in the description, I actually am stopping black steel props after a while once the molds are done. There's no point in closing it right now, but because it's my only source of income. But once those molds are done, it's probably just going to be the end. I'll still be here personally, but I'm no longer be selling things to the public or, you know, of the sort. I've invested a lot of time. It's not just that, but I've invested a lot of time and money into this, and it's gotten me nowhere. I've seen it for a while that this is coming, and I just need to start ending this. But I wasn't going to go to End War because that was my ticket. That was the entire thing, paying for it, and it's gone now. So, but I actually made the announcement that I wasn't going to End War, told Drac that I couldn't make it, the whole 9 yards. I was not looking for a pity party. I legitimately was not going. But then someone anonymously donated enough money to cover the End War costs for me, which I do appreciate greatly. And so now I kind of feel obligated to go. Luckily, Drac had enough wisdom to say, well, I'll sit on it for a few days just to make sure before I give away your table. So everything's back. My friends weren't so kind. They pretty much immediately, within a couple minutes, canceled all of their plans and redid everything. And so it took a little bit of haggling to get back on the train, but I got everything back in order, so everything's back to where it is. Aside from the fact that that's going, the blaster. Do machinists also have to learn basic drafting? They don't have to. It's a lot easier. they understand drafting, but they don't have to figure out how to actually make drafting prints. Like what I'm writing up right here, like that's not professional. But if it's good enough for me to, and I'm not relying on anyone else to read it, then it's fine. There's certain symbols and things that I could do, but I'm not gonna bother because I don't need to, because I don't need them. If anyone else was gonna read this, I would not be doing chicken scratch back and forth. I wouldn't be half-assed doing. These aren't freaking brackets. Like if I should be writing it like this, and a more experienced machinist would. Can't even see that. And more experienced machinist would write it like this, but I don't need to, and it's just more work to do that. So I'm gonna erase this so that I'm not wondering what the hell this dimension was. Sniff this. Yeah, pretty much. I need to pay attention. I'm not paying attention in the slightest. So the entire thing on the inside of here is going to be the Velcro. And then on the other side, if we flip that around, so we need to sew a few things on this side before we even start to do the fusible layer. For instance, I have molly webbing on this, and I had to do all of that sewing before I did anything else. So there's 3 strips of molly webbing. Looks like it starts virtually at the top. And the top would be at the bottom here, so we have strips of molly webbing. We'll do 3 of them. So let's do that, and then this is standard 1-inch spaces. I'll know what that means. We'll do ×3. And then this is just going to be the duck cloth. I already have pretty much this in my brain, but this will just be a reference so that I'm not making a stupid mistake in the future. So I know it looks stupid messy and like you can't read anything, but I don't need something super precise. This is going to be the duck cloth on the bottom. And then like I was saying before, if I make the entire front Velcro material, I think that might look a little weird. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting 1.5 inch gap at the top and bottom here with the gray duck cloth, and I think that will break it up just enough. So if this is going to be 7.5, that cuts out 3 inches, which means that's only going to be 4 inches of patch. So 4 inches by 12 inches. Let's actually see how many patches we have. I have a lot of patches. So been in an engineering design and of course, what do you need to know? Equal pay rates? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm also not an engineer. I'm a machinist. Going to be a machinist. Technically I am a machinist because I have my first I have a machining certificate. Technically, I already am a machinist. Talking about machining. My dad's company just bought a mill. It's awesome. That's pretty cool. I wish I had one. All instructions are in German. We don't need those though. If you don't know how to set up a mill, it's kind of one of those things where if you don't know enough about it to know how to set up a mill, then you're kind of already screwed. Oh, hold on one sec. So I don't know if I necessarily want all of these patches on here at the same time. A lot of these are really big, and they just take up a lot of real estate, and I don't think they're worth it. Jang's is super cool, and I like it, but I don't know if I would actually put that on my mag bag just because of how big it is. The Future War Cult one is literally the exact same size. Does not stand for Flywheel Cage. It stands for Future War Cult. It's definitely a reference. But I like it more than Jang's. So I'm probably going to put this one on there. Omlon, a lot of real estate, really like it, but again, I kind of want to minimize how many huge ones I have on there. I got this one only for $1. It's free. It's just had to pay for the shipping, but they have a PVC one now, and I kind of want to get the PVC one, but we'll see. We'll put that in the maybe pile. We'll have a yes, definitely, no, definitely, and then a maybe pile. Black Steel Props, that's kind of a stupid thing to even question. This is Blade HQ, where I get most of my knives. Nothing to do with Nerf, but... if you get some translated study engineering, translate script from German to English. CNC milling internals in metal would be cool. But then said you... I'm gonna work on my CNC certificates this next fall, but then they said you don't really it's another big business. I'm trying to determine patch real estate. I'm determining patch real estate as well. Wait, is there a Go Slow taco patch? Not an official one. I think Michelle got a couple taco patches. I didn't end up getting one because I wasn't notified of them. Sad face. But there's no official taco patch. I've been pushing for an official one, but no one wants to invest the $150 to get them made out of PVC. So I've suggested it a few times, but everyone wants t-shirts instead of patches, so I personally like the patches a little bit better because they're a little bit easier to display. If you have a shirt, your gear's covering it. But that's just my opinion, so no one agrees with me. That's fine. Out of darts, I'm trying to stick away from too many like company logos, just because everyone's going to be like, why aren't you using mine? Although I really do like Liberty Foam Designs patch. They also have a nice PVC one. I'm gonna be hard pressed not to rock this one. This one's pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. And it's pretty small. That's one thing I try to do with all of my stuff, is keep it small. Because I wouldn't want a huge ass logo on my blaster. That's why my stickers are so small. They're 1 inch by 1 inch. That's why mine are so small, is because if you want to put that on your blaster, I want you to be able to put that on your blaster without having to take up the entire freaking side of your blaster, because it's ugly as hell, right? So, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the yes pile. Remind you of Division. Ben, do you like $50 for every war you have a company patch on? $50 for every war you have a company patch on. Yeah, I doubt anyone needs to pay me to get their logo on my stuff. I do need to put Velcro on the back of this one to even be able to, but I would like to put this one on, especially now that they're coming out with another one of these. It has white where the black is and red where the yellow is, so it looks kind of cool. So it'd be End War, that'd be kind of cool. I think we can go with that. End Strike, this is an official one. I can't remember what it came with, but I got this particular one from Dennis. He sent this over to me with a trade. Needs Velcro on the back. It's pretty cool. If I was going to rock an official one, I think there's one or two more official End Strike patches. If I was going to run any of them, it would be this one. But right now, I'm not sure if I would. I'll put that in the maybe pile. Ammo counter. Theirs is pretty cool. His is pretty cool. I don't use ammo counter, so that's a thing. I think his looks really awesome, though. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate, which I like. I'm just gonna put this in the no just because, number one, it's a company. It has too many things working against it. It's a company logo. Already gives it a negative mark. Just because I'm trying to give every company a bias against it. So I'm not giving any favoritism. And then also I don't use ammo counter. I never have, and quite frankly, I don't see myself ever actually doing it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in the no. PVC patches are the best. You get way more definition in them. This is one by the girls over at Foam Blast. Good lord. Foam Blast. So this is freaking awesome, by the way. This one came out really well. I'd love this one in PVC, but I could say that literally about every patch ever made, so that's not fair. Definitely a yes for that one. Also, don't get offended that I say girls. So I have actually run into people, not them, but I have actually run into people that are like, excuse me, we're women. I don't mean anything by that. I'm not saying little girl, I'm girl. Women. I don't say guy, boy, boy, guy, dude. It doesn't matter to me. I say guys all the time, and I mean everyone. So you guys know that I don't mean anything by girl. But to me, girl is less akin to boy as it is to guy. Like, women is like calling you guys men, and I don't call you guys men. I call you guys. You see what you see the correlation there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thunderdome was lucky enough to actually be... I didn't just rip this off of someone. I was actually at Thunderdome before it shut down. I actually got this one from Rob himself. I'm not sure how much I actually support Rob anymore. He's gone a little bit nuts, and not in the fun, good way. He's a nice guy, but I think I don't want to comment. I think he's gone a little bit overboard on some things, and so in my right mind, I'm glad I have this patch. I'm glad I was able to go. He's done a lot for the community, but I can't in my right mind put this on my bag, and I know that's going to cause a lot of controversy, but I'm just throwing it out there. Not to mention it wears away easy. This is something that Peter mentioned. If you have too many small points on the end of a patch or something, it'll wear away super, super easily because they're more susceptible to being pried up. Did I just lose stream? Did I just drop out? I see a little swirly cue on my thing. Let me know if I'm here. Yeah, during NVZ I did. No, you're fine. Nope. Okay, I have a little swirly thing on mine. I guess it's just me. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to throw a no on this one. I'm glad I have it in my collection, but so I guess we don't actually have that many patches. I would like to keep room for some. God, these round patches are really killer. So let's mark out a grid here. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to figure out. So that's the edge of my patch space right here. And then we're going to go 12 over. So that right here is about... Just realized my camera's crooked. Whoopsie. Okay, this is actually going to bother me a lot. Give me a sec, guys. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it's a little better. So this is my patch space right here. Down to this bottom line. So, if we can not move things around, it'd be cool. Kind of have to put this one... Try the middle there. But these round ones really take up a crap load of real estate. I might have to drop this one. Yeah, this just takes up way too much space. And then this actually takes up a lot of space because it's sideways. I might just end up putting this sideways. And then this gives me a little bit of room to grow. We'll need another one for the end bore patch here, so we'll just move these over preemptively because there'll be another one right here. And then we have a little bit of room to grow down here. Not much. We can always drop this one if we really need to, and we can drop this one really. I don't really need that many patches. We can always just switch out to whatever we're feeling like. But already I think that this is like 3 times more patch space than most people have. Because, you know, most people just have like a little tiny thing like this between all of their gear. So, I already think that this is plenty of patch space. So, and I just think it'll look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing if I have a little more gray on there. So yeah, let's do the 1.5 on the top and bottom. Does sandpaper never know how to burn this? Anyone keep yes. If you're going too fast or you don't have layers of sandpaper between you and what you're doing. Yes, that's how friction works. So we'll have an 1.5 on top and bottom for the duck cloth. And then this will be the Velcro. So we'll need to do some sewing on this before we get anything else done. I'm wondering what I might do before I do any of this is take this and fuse it like this and then purposely try to rip it apart and see how much it takes to actually pull this back apart, or if it's even possible, because that will determine if I'm using any sewing ribs for stabilizing, for adding extra strength. If it's strong enough, then I shouldn't need to, but I don't want it to delaminate in the future. So I'll have to test that before I determine what I'm doing there. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the mag bag itself. I want to make a plate for me to carry these things a little bit more comfortably. I have my eye on a gray sling mount. Unfortunately, it's an official Magpul sling, so it's like $50. But it's a really nice one, and I want to be able to switch out the entire plate and mag bag to another plate and mag bag. I could just like keep the plate on there and switch out mag bags, but I think realistically I would have to pull out all of the moly, and that would just be a pain in the ass. So it's just more easy to make multiple plates and then switch out the straps. But I would like to be able to switch out the strap over my shoulder and the strap around my waist, and then just switch those out, because I also want to make another mag bag for the because katana mags, and I think I'll get addicted to that because it's going to be super light compared to the other one. So, made operators, yeah. So, just leave plenty of space on the outside of this. That's not a big deal. I think we have our plans so far. We'll need to work on the dividers later, and then the loops for the bungees. We can do that later. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what we want to accomplish. I doubt I'll get this done before End War. I might have enough time, maybe. This is a very big maybe. I might have enough time to do this. I definitely won't have enough time to do the entire plate. So I'd probably just have to switch it out with the one I have now. Because it's Molly, obviously. So the back of this is just a Condor chest rig. This is the back. It had some Molly on the back here, and then these straps go over your shoulders. I just sewed these together and added a little comfy strap up here. And then this would go down to like your waist or something, but I just put these on there instead so I can clip it around my waist. So when it's around my waist, it's actually putting a little bit of tension on like this area right here. But it's held up so far, so... but I'd like to get the proper material. This like cushy padding stuff I'd like to actually get for my plate. But for now I can just remove the Molly and then put it on this plate and that will work just fine. But we'll have to see. It might just be beneficial to keep the one I'm using now, just because End War isn't exactly something you want to try new things with. And even though I've done this design before and I know I like it, there might actually be a flaw with the bag itself. Maybe something is too small and I have trouble fitting it in, or maybe I just need to wear it in more, maybe I just need to get used to it, etc., etc. But we'll see. I'm trying to modify the designs for the Caliburn to have an underbarrel as a practice for my eventual Angels tear mod. It's worth 50 because you can drag shot whatever. Still, this is toe strap for tank. Dog for a bear. So that's pretty much what I wanted to accomplish. It took about an hour and a half. We're sitting at an hour and 24 minutes here. If you guys want custom colored, hold on. Okay, so if you guys want custom colored dart heads that if you're going to End War, you plan on buying one. If you want a custom color head, I will be more than happy to hold it for you. As long as you commit to buying it, I trust you guys. Be willing to hold it for you. But speak now or forever hold your peace. This gray one is spoken for. Excuse me. But yeah, so the flaws are very natural. It's gonna have these voids no matter what I do. It's foam. It foams up, believe it or not. I don't have the $500,000 tool to actually get rid of all this stuff, and I don't plan on doing it. So nice and shiny. Basically how these work is you're gonna buy the heads. You can get the bodies off of Amazon for about $20 to $25. I'm going to be auctioning off 3 complete darts. 1 purple, 1 blue, and 1 white. All with orange heads. So they'll be auctioning off, I think, every hour or so at the FoamCon. And that's because normally I'd want to take the auction all the way to the end, but that kind of sucks because you kind of want the dart for people to sign, right? Or at least, you know, I'm gonna think at least one person is gonna want to have their dart signed by people. So I'm gonna do like one every hour or something, and then you can go off and get those things signed or whatever you want to do. Basically, you buy this, you go on Amazon. I'll have a link somewhere eventually. You buy one of those foam yoga rollers. You might need to chop off to a certain length. Chopping it to 30 inches is ideal. And then you get contact cement. You contact cement this side. You contact cement the end of your dart. And then you wait like 5 minutes, and then you very carefully push them together. Make sure that everything is lined up your first try, not your second, because you won't be able to get it apart. Make an attachment for a drain blaster or something. I don't think a drain blaster would fire one of these things. I don't think it has enough volume. These at End War are probably going to be 25. If I end up selling them online, that is a very big if, then they'll probably be 30. Ask if you ship one to me to create the fastest dart ever. What? Do you usually chop it like Super 77? Am I missing a reference? I feel like I'm missing a reference. What color scheme for Falcon Fire mod? Red, white, or purple and white? Red and white or purple and white? Kind of partial to the purple. Red isn't my favorite color. I think red is very overdone. But it's up to you. Also, if you're planning on having any orange in there, I think red kind of clashes with purple. Or red kind of clashes with orange. Timber. These things are fun. These things are great. So I've been doing my best to get some stuff out there. Hopefully these sell. You know, people are always saying, "Oh, shut up and take my money," until you actually, you know, make something, and then, you know, it depends on on what they're doing. So, do you usually need to chop the yoga rollers to length? As for the contact cement, or would you use M3 spray stuff? Super 77 or whatever. Hold on one second. That's an 800 number. I don't need to answer that. I just use regular contact cement, like in the glass jar or whatever. I'm not sure what Super 77 is. Probably wouldn't use spray adhesive, but I mean, I guess you could. I really think contact cement's going to be the best thing. I'm bringing contact cement, so if you don't have it, Phoenix, that's fine. Put me down for one, please. What color did you want? Just a standard orange? If you're just looking for the standard orange or something, then you might just have to try to get to my booth as soon as you can. I don't know how. These are either going to sell out instantly or no one's going to buy them. I don't think there's going to be any in between here. Either someone's going to see the potential and everyone's going to buy them, or no one's going to get it at all and be like, why would you do this, and not buy it. I don't think there's going to be any in between. And do you usually need to chop the yoga rollers? Usually you do. There's not a whole lot. The white one that you got, Phoenix, that one should be 30 inches. That one I'm not going to need to cut, but the others are a little bit longer. I will need to cut those. I just use my knife. The only thing is, when you're cutting it, make sure everything is straight, because if you're crooked in any of the axes, it'll not cut correctly. and then glue the dart head to the side that you cut so that you have the nice clean face on the other side. Orange works, or gray. I might make one or two more gray ones, but to be perfectly honest, this might be the only one, and this one's already accounted for, so. I'm just making orange because it's generic and everybody likes orange. People are like, make the ugly yellow one, and I'm like, why would I make the ugly yellow one when no one wants the ugly yellow one? Yes, it'd be cool to see. No one's gonna want it. M3, 3M, Super 77 adhesive. Multi-purpose adhesive on surfaces. Ratios, home office, craft projects. I've never used it. Might be possible, but you might want to be careful because the dart bodies tend to be a little bit waxy, and I'm not sure how well that would secure onto there. Usually, I like the contact cement because you can put it on a little bit thicker, but it's up to you. I think I can use a 10-inch chef knife to cut my yoga roller. Yeah, if you use a chef knife, it actually is significantly easier. As a matter of fact, while you have those and you have the knife there, do you mind cutting the ones that you have to about 30 inches? I trust you. If you don't mind. It'll probably come out a little bit cleaner than what I could do with my pocket knife. Let me rephrase that. It's going to come out cleaner than what I could do with my pocket knife. Gotta go. See you, J Forge. Thanks for stopping by. So 3 of these. One of these is mine. This one's mine. 3 of these already have bodies, and then these are being sold individually. This one's already taken. So I have 3 of them so far. I need to make more of these. I have one cooking right now that's red. I need to make a bunch more orange. So yeah, I need to pump these out. I can make another one in 30 minutes. Or I can start making another one in 30 minutes. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate that. These things are freaking great. The more you have, the funnier it gets. Before Phoenix, before I attach these to the thing, I need to show you how funny these things are to hold. The more you have, the more hilarious it gets. Give me the measurement for the dart head so I can do the correct scale. It's actually like 32 inches, but I already cut mine 30 inches because the logo was in the way. So my overall is going to be 30 inches. That's what I'm saying as the official giant dart measurement is 30-inch body. Mine's actually like 29.5, but 30-inch body. If you're curious, scales from 150 millimeters down to 12.7, and that's the ratio. So how would I do this? 12.7 over 150, and then that's equal to shit. $12.7 over 150. Oh, it's been a minute since I've done this. Now I'm just curious. I know you get what I'm saying, but now I'm just curious. I'd have to multiply that by... That's not right. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. We got cut them to 30 inches then. Yeah. Otherwise, mine's gonna look weird, and I don't want mine to look weird. Guess we can put these away now. Have you seen this yet, Phoenix? This thing's a piece of work, man. Look how abrupt that is. Right here. Look how abrupt that is. Isn't that awful? They couldn't even be bothered to put a 45 on there. It's like that the whole way down. They could have put a 45 here and it would have made it look so much better. It's like, I never realized, because the strife goes in right here where the magazine is. I never realized how big of a difference that made. But it really is a difference between a blaster that's kind of straight, but then has a few bumps on one side, as opposed to this one, which is just one side is bigger than the other. Do I need to bring a roller to Enbor with me? You don't need to, but if you want to get it signed, I would recommend it. Because it is pretty cool to get a dart signed and stuff. I mean, that's why I made mine, right? To have people sign it. It's kind of a cool thing, but I understand a lot of people can't because of luggage reasons. But if you're driving, I would recommend it. You can get them on Amazon right now. Just make sure that there's no logo on the side of the thing. Look up foam yoga roller. I think they actually have a 30-inch white one for like less than $15 right now. So looking at some. Let me see if I can. Give me one sec. Can do, one word. C-A-N-D-O-Do. D-O-Do? D-O. C-A-N-D-O. Can do. It's $13 right now. 6-inch by 30-inch round. PE white foam roller. There's 5 left in stock. Screenshot, quick. Yeah, I'm completely mad about the swordfish or whatever. Not 180, compatible out of the box. Yeah, that's, yeah. 100% everything you just said. For something that's specifically designed for modders, and you can't say it's not because it doesn't come with internals, you have to modify this thing. And it's not like a Springer where you can just throw it together. You have to do soldering to this thing. This is a real mod that you have to do in order to have it make it functional. Yet, it's not 180 compatible, and they have room for stock alkalines or IMRs. Are you kidding me? Freaking ridiculous. And then room for a DC2 switch, but no room for an actual Amalon switch. DC2 is fine, but I prefer my... And there's a lot of dead travel. I can't stand it. Some people like it, some people hate it. I'm one of those people that can't stand it. Dead, dead, dead. I just hit the switch. Contact. All that is dead. I hate that. I can't stand that. At least the symmetry is on the axis. It also is not lubricated out of the box, but I guess that's better for painting. So the trigger pull feels completely terrible. It looks much better with the stock, but the one thing, the handle's really comfortable, but the one thing I really don't like about this, above anything else, is it's so clearly meant to be, oh, this looks really crappy without a vector kit, but as soon as you put a vector kit on it, oh, it magically looks like a complete blaster. That's one thing I really can't agree on with this, is it's very clearly an unfinished blaster, but you can't sell a blaster for a blaster shell for $100, right? It would be just the freaking shell, and it'd be $100. No. If you're talking about this ways, no. It's bad. It's really bad. If they made this side just as bulky as this side, to be completely honest, I would be okay with that. It'd be bulkier, but you have more room for electronics right here. But it's so bad. It really is bad, and this is why they were hiding this side. If they made both of these sides like this, that would actually be much better. I would still prefer if you put a 45-degree right here, and then went back up for the motors, and then back down like that. But if you put another battery tray here, so you have two battery trays, that's awesome. No one in their right mind is going to say, what's the other battery tray for? Or if they do, immediately everyone's going to go, LEDs, duh. Another battery tray here would be freaking awesome. You could put electronics in here. You could put freaking LED batteries right here. That'd be flipping awesome. It'd be a little thicker, but at least it would look better. Exactly. Yeah, you could put the electronics for a Nerf cam for a full auto kit would be much easier to install. A ammo counter, you could do a lot of things with another battery door. 2S 3S combo switch, you could do a second stage up here and have plenty of battery space for that. You could do so much with more space right here. But they didn't, because it's just a reskin and they couldn't be bothered to do anything new to it. Worker, on the off chance that you have watched this for an hour and 45 minutes, this random video about doing nothing on a stream, on the off chance that you somehow see this part of the video, maybe someone links it to you, maybe someone sends you this video segment with this, please, I'm imploring you, sell the other side of this shell, but make it an exact duplicate of this side, minus the screw ports, obviously. Just sell this side on this side. I'm telling you, it will be better. I would actually spend more money. I would spend another 20 bucks to get this on this side. I really would. I could actually use this as a blaster if this was on this side. It's so close. It's so close to being a fine blaster, but it's just not. Really like the stock though. I mean, this is a $25 stock. This is a $40 shell. This is 60 bucks in parts right here, and then they want you to spend another, you know, 50 bucks on the Chris Vector kit, which I would love a clear Chris Vector kit for this, but I can't afford it, obviously. Just because it kind of looks like trash without it. But I don't care enough about it to invest anything. Just get a little more design. Yeah, drop the freaking swordfish, please. I know it's too late, and I know it's not gonna happen, but please, for the love of God, drop the swordfish. You could have themed it from anything else. It doesn't need to be an animal. Just put a freaking stripe on the side. It really doesn't matter. Just don't make it a swordfish. You can call it a swordfish. Don't make it a swordfish. Biohazard is a little bit chunky, I'm not gonna lie. Great aesthetics, but like in the hand it feels a little bit chunky. It feels more like a rapid strike to me, which I don't like, which is I wouldn't really appreciate it with this, but at least this has other things going for it. It's clear. I could fit a ton of electronics in there. It's not just like a solid block, because obviously his is a solid chunk of polycarbonate. I could actually put things on this side. I could actually do things with it. It'd be a little chunky, but I think I could learn to live with it. But who knows? It just pisses me off because I know Worker is not happy with this side, because they didn't show pictures of it when they leaked photos of it. There were pictures of every dimension except for head-on, for obvious reasons, and of this side, because they absolutely hate this side. Yeah. I don't know what's with his luck, man. He just got a, I think it's an airsoft gun or a pellet gun to use the shell for Nerf. I don't know what the hell is with his luck, but it's been a few things now that it's like clearly bent over to one side. And not just like a little bit. It's like noticeably bent over to one side. He has a picture on Instagram. It's kind of funny, but at the same time kind of pisses me off for him, because this is not the first time that this has happened. Even though for most right-handed users that side is going to be the show side. Yeah, exactly. This side has been the show side since a very, 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 very long time, because I think the last blaster to have screw ports on this side was the Firefly. Not going to say that that's accurate at all, but I'm just saying I think off the top of my head the Firefly was the last one to have the screw ports on this side. Screw ports are always on this side. That's the side that doesn't look the best. This side is. But, you know, what do we know? We're just the modders in the community, right? I mean, even for left-handed users, this is still usually the show side. I don't think it really matters what side you're on, because Liam is left-handed, and he shows his blasters on this side, I think. It's just like a standard thing. I don't like the DC2. Got a genuine cherry in there. It's just not clicky enough for me. It's a little mushy because the rubber dome on there. It's still mechanical, but it has a little bit of a rubber on there, I think, to like weatherproof it a little bit. But it's not as clicky as the Amarons. It would have been nice. It would have been super easy to make screw ports for the DC2s like they have now, and screw ports for the Amaron switches, Amaron style. Amaron style. But they didn't, so. And you can't really add a plate there without doing something extravagant, because you can see straight through it. Any sort of epoxy work you do in there, you're going to see straight through it and it'll look terrible, so. But the cherry switch is for gamers, yeah. Give you the competitive edge. Type that as you said it. Of course, you didn't know it's not clicky enough, yeah. Type that as I said it. I want to like it. I want to like it so much. I'm right there. I wouldn't be upset if I use this, but I'm getting there. The handle's really, really comfortable. They did a great job on the handle. Which sounds stupid because it's just like a simple handle, but you'd be surprised how easy that is to screw up. I think they did a good job on that. So we're going up on an hour and 41 minutes here. So I think we're going to start wrapping up the stream here. I might start cutting these out. I might just procrastinate. I do need to cast another foam dart head. It just has enough letdowns to not be good, exactly. Especially for its price point. I would be so... If I worked at Worker, I would be so mad if we made this. Because with how many tens of thousands of dollars go into these stupid molds, I would be so pissed off if this was designed like this. I would be so incredibly mad if this was designed like this, because this is garbage. It's literally just a strife. Everything about it is exactly a strife. Like, the only thing they changed was the was this design right here, and even that, if you just imagine that the mag release is gone, it's just an abrupt angle. Whoever is designing these things is freaking terrible. They just make direct angles. They don't even bother chamfering anything. Whatever. The strife is pretty great, but there are things that could be improved on it. And if you're trying to outright replace the strife, that's never going to work. You're never going to get your price point down below $20 like the strife is. And people already have strifes. There are already kits for strifes. Don't try to make another strife. Try to make a strife with different options. What does the strife not offer? Symmetry. Strife does not offer symmetry. Give it some symmetry. Give it some extra room for the electronics. Give it the freaking 180 option, for God's sake. Is it going to add a little bit of a bump? Yeah, it's going to add a little bit of a bump, but if you don't make the entire thing raised up another 1/4 inch, it's off by like a 1/4 inch. Like, you need some significant, like, it's standard strife size. But, you know, in their brain, it's like, oh, we can't extend this another 1/4 inch. You don't have to extend the whole damn thing. We just need this. Well, whatever. I'm getting off on a tangent. Sorry. Getting hot-headed. I don't like the strife. Well, Neo, you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I'm just kidding. You're bringing the contact cement? I ordered the roller. Yeah, I'm bringing the contact cement. God knows I'm not going to use enough of it to use it by myself, so just stop by my booth. I'll hold the head for you. I'll write you down on a sticky note. Hold on. I'll put a sticky note on a head for you, so I'm not forgetting. That's going on ahead. Hey Alice, what's going on? We're about to start wrapping up. Are you selling those dart heads? Yeah, I'll show them to you. Hold on. I don't have enough hands to grab all of them. Dart head extravaganza. 25 for end war. These are either going to sell out instantaneously and I'm not going to keep any in stock, or no one's going to understand it at all and no one's going to buy them. There's no in between. They are silly. The more I'm assuming you have a booth, find me before everyone gets here, because the more you have in your hand, the funnier it gets. Sorry, this one's an End War exclusive. I wonder if my lamp is hot. It's not that hot. Ow, hot! Okay, the bottom's hot. Why can't you hold all of these dart heads? Meme done. Ooh. That's interesting. Fascinating. Told you it was a different freaking plastic. Look! I freaking told you it was a different plastic. They can't even make their crap out of the same stuff. Okay, sorry. I need to chill out about this. I need to put this away before I have a headache. I already have a headache. Before I have more of a headache. Okay. Now this is gonna be very hot. Whoa! 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 That's hot. Okay. Whoa! Ow! Hold on. Are you going to put a limit on one per person so Drac can't buy every single one, or just yeah, that's probably a good idea, Alice. Now that you mention that, I'll put a one per customer limit. Obvious exceptions, if somebody, you know, begs me, but yeah, pretty much one per person. That's a good idea. I'm also in the process of making a red one right now. So I imagine he's gonna buy that one. Buy all of them at once and then sell them at my booth for $100. Capitalism. No, you cannot buy one right now. These are going to be an End War release-all. We both know he'll do something, yeah. If you want to get a foam yoga roller and bring it, I'm bringing contact cement. There's a 30-inch by 6-inch one. It's white for $12 right now. $13. Oh, you're Canadian. I don't know if you can get it. I don't know if you can talk to someone in the States to bring it for you. Link to roller. I don't have the link, but I can show you what to search for it. Cando, C-A-N-D-O-P-E white foam. Could you focus, you there it goes. Screenshot. Take a screenshot. PE white foam roller, 6x30. 30 inches is what you need to cut it down to anyway. So you won't need to cut it. Maple dollars, yeah. Approximately 3,000 maple leaves. Oh no, I found a way to be at Enmore. I want the green head. Maybe you can talk to someone and have them buy it for you. Hey Jason, what's going on? I was going to start wrapping up, but now that it's close to 3:30, I might as well pull out the red foam. One thing that you guys will notice about the foam is it starts to pull in like this. That's normal. When I pull it out of the cast, it actually like there are a few spots that'll actually dent like this, and then as the hours go by, it will pop back into shape like a normal one. Not 100% sure why that is. It's kind of interesting, but you can see that this one was the last one I casted because it's still dented. After a couple hours or a day or two, this will actually pop back out. It's kind of interesting. Tried to put a link, but it won't let me. Yeah, it won't let you unless you're a moderator. Trying to put some of these away. For those of you thinking about buying them, the voids are completely normal. There's absolutely nothing I can do about that without short of machinery that I don't own. So these voids are completely normal. I doubt anyone's going to pick up your foam head and say, wow, this is awesome, but those need to go. It's a freaking giant dart. Cool your jets. Let me get that other dart head. I'll be right back. Sorry, it takes quite a bit of actual mechanical force to pull these things out. Where am I? There are some holes in your foam, Hawkeye. Yeah. Cool. Like I said, you can see it start to shrink, and it's like making a weird surface texture. That's completely normal. It'll pop back to what it's supposed to in overnight. It's a little weird. Wonder why it does that. Largest Nerf battle, yeah. Start throwing giant darts at each other. That will be the biggest Nerf battle. Thank you, Gavin. It's also nice if you want to bring your own yoga roller, because you can get it signed. So that's kind of cool. I'm auctioning off 3 of them, but cool. This would look cool with a black yoga roller. You see it's shrinking quite a bit. That's weird. Pops back just like normal. I look forward to having a javelin style Nerf fight at FoamCon. These things hurt. I almost broke my nose. I'm not even kidding. I dropped one and I leaned over and hit it back up and it hit me in the face, and for a split second I thought I broke my nose. These things hit with quite a bit of punch. I would not want to get hit in the face with one. Pass it off as a kickoff dart, yeah. But this just makes me want to make the worker darts even more, because like the 1/2 inch ones, I measured those out to be 14 inches long, and just the body itself, not including the head, but just like to have a dart like this big is like the perfect size for like a mortar or something. You could totally like launch that out of a tube or something. That'd be friggin' awesome. It's below the 130 cap, yeah. Be interesting to make a 6-dart magazine to hold these things. See, it's completely distorting. I freaked out the first time it happened because I've made foam hearts before. I think I actually still have that mold. I've made foam hearts before, but it never distorted like this. And so I was like, oh crap, I don't know what's going on. It's like collapsing, and then a couple hours later it popped back. I was like, all right. These are the coolest things ever. I'm so glad I made them. Got a bunch of people messaging me. Just one thing, make sure that there are no logos on the side of the dart when you're ordering a yoga roller. Why are these things so freaking expensive? Oh, case of 36. I can get a case of 12 6-inch diameter by 36 inch for $150. It's funny. Alice, are you still there? Are you looking for a custom color? I might as well make them while I'm still making these stupid things. Or do you just want the standard orange? Found the source of the foam. I think Alice is gone. That's okay. Sorry, Devils. I just saw that. Yes, I was dead. I was getting this. If that wasn't obvious by now. Friggin' 10-minute late answer. Classic Hawkeye. I'll let her know in Discord. Thank you. Appreciate that. God, look at. I think this is a really good one. Look how much that's collapsing. It's crazy. I had to use a lot of freaking red dye for this. Red is the worst. You have to use so much dye. Put that over there. I think the majority of them is just going to be orange, though. Orange is nice and generic. Everybody likes orange. And it kind of makes the colored ones special. There she is. Super busy for NOR. I feel ya. I'm super busy for NOR too. I'm just ignoring all of my problems right now because I failed. My printer shuts off and completely started from scratch and reconfigured the firmware. Oh, that's fun. A blue head is weird because, like, what color body would you put it on? Is there a particular custom color you desire, Alice? I'm ignoring all of my problems right now because I failed. Please do this on a t-shirt. Stuff is fun to play with. I should cast another foam heart so I can rip people's heart out. Light blue, dark head body. I'm not sure how long can I think about it. Well, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have very many days. Wait, is she not going to NWAR? You're going to NWAR. She's going to NWAR. What are you talking about? There's no way Alice isn't going to NWAR. Fun to play with, not to eat. See, she's going. This is fun. I may have broken my foot yesterday, but I mean, at least you need to come for the foam con, right? Hashtag go slow taco. Until we actually do need to run, and then we'll ditch you. I mean, no, yeah, we'll stick with you to the end. Have you seen Bobo try to run? He might as well have a broken foot. So, filed a people thrown while fire darts from on high. I still don't have my darts in. That sucks. Should probably get those soon. Mine should be coming in Sunday. I wasn't gonna get any, because what I have is fine, but I figured, might as well. Ironic too, I had I had a whole zombie loadout planned. I'm sure you'll be fine. You're young and spry, you'll bounce back. One of my favorite sayings is, I snapped my ankles. That was coined when I was playing Minecraft. Because of the crunch sound it makes. I snapped my ankles. I think I got 2,000 white AccuFakes. Freaking why? If you can only load up your darts once a day, how many magazines can you actually carry? Like, I can hold 180 darts in my mags with one loadout, and then I'll have a bunch in a dump pouch, and like that's pretty much it. I have 600 darts for End War. Might bring some of my other collection for FoamCon, but I still have Koosh from last year. Rip me. I mean, it was a bulk purchase. Uh-huh. That's why you got 2,000. Sure. There ain't no bulk purchase that I know you buy 2,000. You got that in two 1,000 packs at the very least. I bought 2-1, yeah. Called it. I should be doing other things. Is Hawkeye actually going to do them? Tune in to End War to find out. I've had so many offers on this mag bag, it's not even funny. That's what we were doing earlier in the stream, is measuring out dimensions to make another one. So I have some real estate for patches. If you go on McMaster, you can actually get the hook and loop side. I just got the loop side for Velcro in like huge swatches. I got a big ass piece of it, so I'm gonna remake it. But I've gotten a lot of offers on this thing. Served me well. I seriously doubt I'll have this done in time for End War, but I need to make another one anyway, so. There's nothing wrong with that one, I just want the real estate for patches. I've got my battle pack, that's good enough for me. Using the dispenser pack thing. Won't have to buy darts for another year or two. You can only carry 144 on you, yeah. 444 on you. Bobo, Alice, Hawkeye, Zombona, Dispenser, yeah. I remember that. Zombona was the only one who actually went through with it. Welcome back. We're probably wrapping up soon, but welcome back. Gamer Games, hello. I think we call it Baz. I don't remember what we called it. I still need to sort out the internals for it. You probably should soon. I'm only going to be able to play until about noon on Saturday, so I'm trying to run kind of light. Oh, that sucks. Prior engagement. That sucks. We'll enjoy you while we have you. I need to add a zipper to mine. Like on the top or the bottom? Excuse me for 1 second. That did not go where I wanted that to. Light Take sent me a swordfish. I think I'm gonna add the stock. I think I'm gonna add that stock you threw on it. It looks great. It's alright. They could have done so much more. The fact that they didn't put a 45 right here and then bend it back up for the motor, so it's just a freaking block right here, that bothers me a lot. If you ask me, they should have made, we were talking about this earlier, they should have made it the same as this side on this side and put another battery tray on there. Freaking LEDs. LED batteries right there. You could put so many electronics. You could put Arduinos in here on the other side. It'd be freaking great. But they didn't. And they suck. I'm salty. It's okay. On Sunday back home. Dang. That sucks. Except for the part where the swordfish is garbage. You see my fancy calipers, Alice? I can measure my calipers with my calipers. should be made symmetrical to the smaller side and just have the bulges for the motors. Yeah, that's one thing I was saying in my other stream that I did a quick like overview on it. Quick, it was like 2 hours. I did a quick overview on is you never notice how much of a difference thinner on the magazine side makes to where the strife is thin but it has a few bulges on this side, as opposed to the swordfish that it's just freaking a cancer monstrous side on this side. Yes, they are Mitoyo. Mitutoyo, whatever. Freaking screw you, Phoenix. You don't want to know how much I bought these for? I'll tell you anyway. One of the guys that was in my machining class bought this brand new along with a 1 to 3 set. I actually have that right here. Bought that and a 1 to 3 set. And this was like 350 and this was, you know, like 150 or whatever. And he decided, bought them brand new. I was there when he received them. And he decided that this wasn't for him and he didn't want to pursue it anymore. I bought both of these and a Starrett scale, 6-inch scale. I bought those both for $240. I freaking stole these things, brand new. Thank you again for the stock. Not a problem, Neil. Let's get the exact size of this webbing. In case anyone wants to know, it's 0.0704 about. You're welcome. Is that Canadian $20 at Canadian Tire? I just hope to be there for the whole day of FoamCon and meet everyone. FoamCon's definitely the best part. If you're going to come for anything, FoamCon's definitely the part that you want to come for. Hopefully I'll get to do the whole thing next year. Yeah. Meteorology. Any symmetrical strifes? Biohazard. I don't know what you're asking. Full auto power fister, yeah. These things are great though. I'm probably looking to sell these though, because I have my 0 to 1 digital Mitutoyo, whatever. Shut up. I can already hear Phoenix telling me differently. I already have my 0 to 1 digital, and that thing goes down to 1/2. It's to the point where if I bring it into another room that's a different temperature, it will register the wrong reading. My hair registers 3 digits. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, I might try to look to sell these for like 200 or something, because these are still freaking brand new. I don't even think the 2 to 3 inch has been used. But that would mean that I would basically get that for $40 and, you know, use that to get something else. I missed FoamCon last year because you suck. I see someone watches AVE. I do. What did I say? Oh, you're talking to Phoenix. Yeah, Power Fister, yeah. Wasn't sure if I made a subconscious reference. Skookum. Oh, and then for the mag bag, I have this bungee, 1/8" bungee. Hold the mags in. I'm going for a black and gray aesthetic. If you couldn't tell. Look at them digits. Look how many of them digits there are. I'm just showing off now. I'm showing off to people that don't care about this at all, but that's okay. If you get a cheap one, it really is okay. You don't notice anything, but as soon as you pick up one of these and you're like, ooh, that's nice, and then you go back to this, just feeling the difference in the slide is significant. I should bring mine just to show you, just so I can break yours. As soon as you do this, you're like, oh, that's nice. That's real nice. And then you pick up your old one, and it's like, I probably shouldn't bring this one, but if anyone breaks into my hotel room, I'm fucked. I mean, screwed. Oh yes, we're still talking about calipers. Yes, we are. I have something wrong with me. I have a tool obsession. Oh my god. Story time. Freaking pocket javelin. Making the pump grip for that. Having it printed off of Shapeways. First of all, did have the money. Don't have the money now, so I that's a thing. That's gonna have to wait. But back when I did have money, I designed it, 3D printed a prototype. It fit. Cool. Sorry, I could have sworn I heard something. It fit, cool, whatever. So I ordered that off of Shapeways. A few days later, I was trying to do something on the back end, and something wasn't lining up correctly, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I printed a test piece, and I compared it, and it was off by like 1/8 inch. I was like, what the heck's going on? And I was trying to measure things in relation to other things, and I was desperately trying to figure out where it was, and I was like, oh, it's the file that's off. It's the placement of the support screws. And so I was like, oh, that's not a big deal. I can just move that. Oh my god. Those determined where my pump grip was. And so I went back and I checked, and sure enough, the pump grip was too far down, and it was making the entire thing, like if the magazine goes right here, it was making the entire thing go down a little bit. And so the ramrod was getting caught on the bottom, but I just caught that up to like play or whatever, and so I just like pushed it back up and like whatever. It turns out the pump grip was actually pulling it down by like 1/8 inch, and the closer you got to the back here, the more it would pull down. And so I was like, oh my god, that part from Shapeways is $110. So I went to Shapeways panicking. I'm like, oh my god, I just wasted my money. I don't have this money to waste, and blah 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 and all this other stuff. I go there, I'm like, how do I ask for help? How do I do this? There's a button right there that's like cancel order. It's like click. And then it was like, okay, cool, we're gonna send you your refund. It's like, oh, okay, that's nice. And that was it. I got my refund like a day later, and that was the end of that. It hadn't reached production yet. It was still in the processing phase. But even so, I'm surprised that they let me cancel it like that easily. It was just literally a button that says cancel. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, we're going to send you your refund. That's pretty surprising. Because even companies that like you don't ship anything out yet, like you order it and then try it on Amazon. Order something and then immediately try to cancel it, and they'll say, sorry, this is already shipped out. Bullshit. It has not shipped out. But no one wants to deal with the paperwork or whatever that has to go along with that kind of stuff, because it's already in the system, and then they need to get it out of the system. It's not even getting out of the system. They have to put more information into the system saying that, oh, this person canceled this transaction, blah, blah, blah. So it's just kind of cool that that Shapeways kind of let me like cancel it that easily. I realize that you guys don't care about anything I'm talking about right now, but this is Hawkeye trying to avoid responsibilities. This is Hawkeye at his finest. If you ever get like, oh, tracking number immediately, that's not actually him shipping it out. He might ship it out like the same day even, but like if you order it and then 30 minutes later you get a tracking, that's him. You get a notification on Etsy when you like reserve the label. So just saying. I just realized I put 5 fingers on here. Getting way too distracted. Shapeways is a 3D printing company. They can print down to like 0.1 of a millimeter. Like thick wise. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculously OP. Like their layer height goes down so freaking far. It's ridiculous when you get to the high detail acrylic. Zero finishing work, so. And the grip that I have is stippled on the side, so there's no real sanding that. Anywho, I should probably get going. I should probably end this because I said I was ending this a long time ago. But that's okay. I'm sure you guys will forgive me. I'm sure I'm just on in the background anyway. Don't think I'm bothering anyone. Just avoiding things. Avoiding my life. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't end. Take care, Hawkeye. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate all of you guys giving me the support that you have. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We shall sign off now. Thank you guys very much for watching. And end stream.